Still Ghana Black Stars all the way. Anywho, we're talking about smartphones and the craze they have, or even mobile phones. Now, myself, like most of you, have more than one mobile phone. Some people even have 3. And I know right now, as Benny always calls it, I won't repeat it anyway, but smartphones not being used by very smart people. So a lot of times we are living off this from morning till night. I know I have I'll say it's a mini addiction. I don't know how bad your addiction is, but a lot of times it really can affect your life. When you're having a conversation with friends, a lot of times people just lose interest in the paying attention to what's going on Twitter or Facebook. At dinner with the family, is the art of conversation being dead because we're spending more time looking in our phones. Well, Sandra and I are joined by a wonderful person who's going to help discuss this. She's back. We have one of our in-house psychologists, Dr. Anne Gazy, and she's here to help us and also maybe help you through your addiction. Sandra, you're happily self-confessed?
Yeah, I am addicted to my phone, unfortunately or fortunately.
Fortunately,
I find myself constantly, like when I'm without data, I'm like, it's like I'm so anxious, like a part of me is missing. I can't go more than a few minutes without my phone. It's that bad.
Okay, one of the things I realized before I come to Dr. Anne is before, usually when we're not on set, we're around, we're in the studio, and I was paying attention to Benny, and Benny was all like
Benny was playing video games.
But that's being addicted to your smartphone or what's on there. So let's come to it at the moment. I mean, back in the day, no, we didn't have mobile phones. It was phone boxes. You had to go find one. And we survived.
Yeah.
We survived. Now, these things seem to have infiltrated in our lives, and it spans across all ages for the most part. Our smartphones, is an addiction to them very bad?
Right. Shall we first of all talk about this smartphone thing? Because now it's become so big that in psychology we've actually come up with a name or a term, and it's nomophobia. That's no mobile phobia. So when you don't have the mobile or the smartphone, then it develops into an anxiety or a phobia, fear of I don't have my mobile.
I am a nomophobia.
Yes, a nomophobic.
How do we pronounce it?
Nomo. So
nomophobia.
That's right. So you're a nomophobic.
Okay.
That's
right. Wow, that's
so
serious.
What you're describing.
It's been coined.
So lots of research has come up now, and it's a big thing. And among women, we have about 71% of that kind of. We haven't really got a nomophobia there yet, but what Sandra is describing, if maybe we should sit down and talk, maybe she's gotten to the stage where if the phone is not there, she can have an anxiety or panic attacks and lots of, I won't say just women, I'm just saying that about 60% of men, but women is quite high that we are addicted to. And the thing is, we live in a world of technology now. Everything revolves around that. And before we go into it's bad or it's affecting us, it is affecting us. But at the same time, if you look at it like you said, you want to call mommy, you want to call hubby, you want to call your child, you have to go to a coin box, the process you have to go through. And even before when I was young, we had to write letters, and it wouldn't take a day or two. There was nothing like emails and all that, and it took forever. But now it's just a dial away. We can sit here and we need an information. If I just say, you know what, Sandra, just type this nomophobia thing, it will just come up and we'll see what we want.
Wow.
So you don't necessarily have to go to the library or go anywhere to get the information. Now, you want something, you want to shop, you want to buy something, all you have to say is, oh, I'm looking for kente, this color, whatever, and it will pull up all the data that you need for you. So who wouldn't want that? It makes life very convenient. You're going somewhere and just put in the map and that, and it will just take you where you have to go. So all this is making life very easy for us. You want to go to the office or you're working from home or something happens, you can just contact your boss or whatever. So everything is just there for us.
In your fingertips.
Exactly. So
your palms.
It's got its strong advantages. Then on the flip side, we talk about the other bit that you're talking. It's really affecting our lives.
So at what point does it become bad then?
That is where we use the word addiction. That's where you can't control it. You need it everywhere. You're driving and you think, oh, I've had my phone. And you go to bed and your phone is ringing in your head or it's vibrating. I mean, you're laughing. I think you've done it before.
I go through this a lot. Okay, cool.
So
where's my phone?
That's it. So you just sit in the car and you think, instead of thinking, am I safe? Have I got my seatbelt on and all that? You're thinking, oh, where's my phone?
Oh, gosh, I'm so nomophobic.
And wherever you go, like you got family gathering, everything is going on, you have dinner, sitting down, and it's like, oh, I haven't checked my Facebook or my Twitter for
Yeah,
about
in a meeting.
20 minutes. Yes. And you know what? Can I just tell you what freaked me out? I was so shocked. It was when the ex-president actually passed on, and the funeral thing, and I thought, oh, dignitaries and all of that, and suddenly I saw some, ministers and stuff. I don't really know their names and that, but then they were on their phones, and I thought, oh, you're paying your last respect and you're on the phone. And for me, I was like, that is a no-no. You understand? It's like when, let's say, the body was there, this and that. That's at least you can put your phone away, and that you can call addiction, because they just couldn't control the situation.
Well, on that note, remember when it was Nelson Mandela's funeral, and of course Obama and I think it was David Cameron and a few people famously did that selfie, and it's like once world leaders seem to have their phone at every instant, then it's like this thing cuts across. Well, it makes it okay, and it cuts across. Okay, talking about this, you said when it gets serious.
Yeah.
Most of us, we deal with our addiction.
Yeah.
When do you get to the point where you feel like, okay, I've gone too far? Because I feel like my addiction is quite healthy. I'm claiming it. It's quite healthy.
Right. But, can addiction be healthy though?
I don't know. I'm just trying. I don't know. Okay.
Right.
Can it be?
Yes, it can.
Okay.
When it affects your work, your everyday life, your home, and that. I can give you another example. I was talking to somebody who works in a psychiatric unit, and then he had his mobile on and everything. So I went to him and I said, oh, you're supposed to, be a nurse or a security and all these things. You're not supposed to use them because if there's an emergency, how would you hear? Turned around and said, oh, I'm listening to a preacher, and after that they'll call me back and I'll call them. And I said, at 11 o'clock. And I said, but you're at work. And I could tell that he just didn't have a clue. He felt that he needed to do what he had to do on his Facebook and listen to whatever he was listening to on his phone. And I thought, do you see the danger to yourself? Somebody can attack you.
Okay.
Or maybe there's an emergency, somebody's falling down or collapsing or whatever. So that is where you realize that this has just gone over, way, way over. You need to stop it because it's affecting your life. You see people driving. There was a time, I don't know whether you heard that story, that in the UK, it was Valentine, and somebody had this truck over a bridge, and he was actually texting his girlfriend to say happy Valentine. And what happened was he just lost concentration for a second and killed a whole family. It wasn't just the family, husband, wife, kids,
children,
and then there was another, Land Rover as well. So people just got killed. They had to close the road, affecting people going, like the weekend and stuff. So one person's error, second, it could be a millisecond or whatever, affected loads and loads of people. The motorway was closed as well. So these are some of the things that we take for granted that it's okay. And most of the time you see all these taxi drivers, texting and then or on the phone and all that, and then they have passengers, and I'm thinking, why don't you tell him to stop? You understand? Because you are putting your life at risk. You've got every right to tell the person that even when you see someone else sitting in their car, because when they make that error, it would affect you.
Yeah, I've got a little story to share on that one. I mean, with the driving bit. And that's the point when I knew that I was addicted to my phone, because I'd be driving and I'd be texting or checking social media pages and all of that. And I always told my friends that if I were ever to be in an accident, it would be from my phone, like being on my phone while driving. And it happened. I actually hit somebody in the back.
Oh my gosh.
And since then, now I think I can control my addiction, because since then I never drive and use my phone.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I'm not anxious while I'm driving. I want to get where I'm going so I can pick up my phone, or I want to get to a traffic light, or I want to just stop and park somewhere and read a message or something. Yeah. So I guess mine is not really an addiction because I can control it. Right, I know not to use my phone when I'm in the car now.
Yeah, but is it just about a car though?
That's what my thing is. My one is not, I don't have the car thing. Yeah, I'll probably put in my headphones and talk in the car. If I get a call, I have a unit where I can talk on the phone. But if I'm home, if I'm here, if I'm literally, I will do that. I know Nanaba can't even help herself anytime she's anywhere. She's like, huh? She's talking to her. She's like,
so can you? Sorry, ladies, can I just ask you? But do you have to do it though? Is it like an emergency? Is it just urgent?
No,
you really have to look at
really,
that.
It's no.
Because you want to look at the comments,
or you're checking comments from your.
Like Facebook, right now, I've asked people to comment, so I'm gonna look at some comments. It's
not that serious. Answering the question that you just asked, it's not like it's a life and death situation. Exactly. You're sending a text to somebody that's in an emergency or anything.
Yeah.
It's just,
Or my
it's just.
sister's
I think
had
it's just
baby
a
or
habit.
whatever. Yeah.
It's just the one where you're bored. I have 2
So would
seconds.
you call
I
it
just
a
pick
good
up my
habit
phone.
or a bad habit? Because we need to look at some of these habits.
It depends.
Right.
It depends.
Yeah.
It can be. I think there's some times where it actually can be a good habit. But okay, for example, yesterday is a perfect example. Watching the match, I was like, "Ooh, I have to
Ghana
tweet."
scored.
I had to tweet, so it's almost like, you know. And at one point, my phone had to charge, so then I brought out the laptop.
No, that was good because I was telling you earlier, I said I got so anxious I didn't watch it because my heart was just racing. But what I did was, 'cause that's naughty, I don't have to admit that on TV, right? But I had my phone under my pillow.
And you were checking.
So I was just checking, okay, what are they saying on Facebook? Oh, okay, has Ghana scored? And that kind of thing. But I think a situation like that is allowed because for me, it reduced my anxiety because if I was watching the TV, I'm sure my blood pressure would be very, very high. But I just thought a slow way or a nice way of actually dealing with it was just to get my phone to do the work for me. So intervals, when I hear the noise outside, people screaming, think, oh, maybe we scored, let me look at it, that kind of thing. But I think that it's important that we control it. That is this really important? You're working, you need the phone, that's fine. But some people go to the extent of even when they're in the bathroom, the phone is just right there. You know, when they are wherever.
Really?
The phone is right
Really?
there.
People do that?
The phone is just, you know, when they are eating with their husbands and wives. the phone
Most
is just
people,
under
the
pillow.
bathroom is probably the number one. Especially, I know a lot of people, when you get onto your morning
That's-
business, it's like,
When you're doing number
Why?
2.
number 1 or 2, even number 1.
But that's
to be
disgusting
sure.
though, because I'm not a medical doctor. But if you talk about the germs and everything transferring to your phone after that,
I didn't think
you have
about
to be
that.
blunt. You're passing it on. You're
No,
passing
but
it
most
on.
people
Just-
do that. They take their phones into the.
No, it's very common,
Bathroom.
but then that's over the top though.
But you wash your hands afterwards, but don't you?
Oh, hang on. But you have the phone. You finish your business before you go and wash your hands. You've already handled the phone.
No, but no.
I'm addressing the person.
You
Let's
put
get
the
to
phone
the
down
mechanics.
to,
No,
you
let's
put
do
the phone
okay.
down to handle your business, and then you wash your hands.
Pick it up again.
Pick the phone.
Oh, hang on, no.
Yeah,
no.
Coming straight from a nomophobia.
I think you're
No,
just
but
saying this to
seriously,
protect
on a more
yourself,
serious note,
right?
how do we control? How do we?
I've got
control
comments here. I'm actually doing this. This is me checking comments. I'm not addicted.
What can we do about it? How
The
do we-
situation.
Yeah, it is a situation.
Yes, and I think you're right because you don't need a wake-up call like you got, like really, really busted.
And I
up
always
the
knew
car
it's not
before.
like I didn't know. I knew
Knew that it
I knew it
was-
was
yeah,
wrong, and I
yeah,
knew that if I were
yeah.
ever to be in an accident, it would
Yeah.
be because of that. But I
Yeah.
still did it till it
Yeah.
actually happened.
Yeah.
And then I got
You'd
that.
be like,
you know,
so you had to
then
get
I
a
stopped.
wake up call.
Yes.
Cool, that's
All right, let me ask. Okay, because I
Okay,
have a
yeah,
lot
sure.
of comments coming
Right,
in.
okay.
Funny enough, on my mobile phone, so I have to look at it. All right, so we have Nanaya. This is on Twitter saying, okay, I need to keep it in the hall and lock my room in order to sleep. If my phone is next to me, I can't sleep, and that's Nanaya.
So one of the
It's
things
that
you need to actually
serious.
switch it off to
No,
see
she
if
has to
it's
put it
still
in
there.
another room
No,
and lock her
lock
door.
it, else you'll be tempted to get it.
It is
Turn it
that
off.
bad. I can't put off my phone.
And be away from the
Deliberately,
phone.
no.
Sandra,
Unless
you're addicted
I've
to
run
it.
out. Yeah, I already told you. Unless my battery's gone and I have no means of charging.
But that
I
really
don't
make you anxious.
consciously put up my phone or I'm going to bed or I want to sleep for an hour. The most I'll do is probably put it on silent. But even that I won't. So
Okay.
I'm sleeping, my phone rings, I wake up.
All right, there's so many comments coming in. I just want to share some
Right.
before we carry on. Joseph, and we're almost out of time. Joseph Ayi says, I'm so addicted to my phone that I don't even allow anybody to touch it. Because of my messages, I have passwords on my camera. So,
Yeah.
like, he knows. I wonder what kind of pictures he's taking. All right, we also have, this is actually very serious, SSNIT who on Twitter says, my addiction is
Snit.
so... Yes, I didn't want to say it, but actually it's it. My addiction is too much. I'm tweeting, Insta liking, posting, WhatsApping, viewing profiles. I'm totally a social media freak. So let me ask. So it seems like more young
Homophobia,
people.
yeah.
But is it
Yeah.
is it a more a young people thing? Because
Yes.
but then I know some older people too who have got in the
The
craze.
population is 1 in 5'4" up to the age of 34, and above 34 is 1 in 10.
Okay.
So we say that a double with the young. Oh,
Young.
sorry, is it?
Yeah.
let me
Younger
get my figures
people,
right?
yes.
That's right. Yeah, but it's happening to everybody. Especially, I think. Okay, we've got the young age, and then we've got. I think with women, and that is more to do with image as well as when you've got a family. Let me keep my phone with me in case the school should call or work or this. So those kind of things, like I can call home and make sure everything is all right. So that makes it even worse.
Does
Sure.
it matter that it's also a mobile phone? You're meant to have it with you. It's meant to be mobile with you. You
Not
don't have to
all-
leave your mobile phone in another room.
Well, then
meant
it
to
defeats
be.
the purpose, because at the end of the day, you want to be updated. Let's face facts, right? This is a device that actually gives us information up to date. So even if TV is off, everything, you haven't got radio or whatever, you know that, like, Amma is doing now. You can get information now. We can sit here and we will know what people are thinking about the program or listening or whatever. But the phone is just updating us. But I think we're talking about when is overused, when, we don't know when to stop, when to put it down and say, that's it. I've looked at it for, maybe the next 30 minutes or whatever. So it's about...
I can spend 2
What
hours.
is the cure? Please give us
The
a
cure
cure.
is
Because
about
some of us are sick. We need a cure.
It's about controlling
A lot of
it,
people.
saying, right, okay, I'm on the program now. Right after the program, I'll spend another 10, 15 minutes checking everything, put it aside. I've got things to do. So it's just like anything else that you would actually have a plan for.
You manage it.
You manage it. It's about managing. And then telling yourself that this is really going to kill me. But you know what, from maybe 8 o'clock to about 10 or 12, I'm going to switch my phone off. It's going to be difficult. It's just
I
like
have a
treating any
friend who
addiction.
calls it a phone fast. He says a phone fast. So
Yeah,
you give
exactly.
it if he's
Yeah,
religious and
yeah.
he says, I'm gonna give that time that I'll give to the phone to God. So that's another alternative.
Exactly. So it's like you know what? Let's go back to addiction. It's just like you want to, maybe you've never been addicted to anything, chocolate or sweets. Or the moment you mention addiction, people think about drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
Here we're talking about other things, right? So it's just like treating addiction is like, it's very difficult. It's not a habit that you've done for so long. It's about, okay, for the next 1 hour, so it's a gradual process. You can even make yourself a little timetable or rota. So from 9 to 10, from 9 to
This
10,
is
I'm not
serious
touching
business.
I'm not touching my phone. And you stick to it because you need to be strong. You need to say, I'm bigger than this phone.
To be strong.
You need to be strong and say, I'm bigger than this phone. So from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I'm not touching this phone. No matter what happens, I'm
Dr.
not touching
Anne,
it.
your phone
Exactly.
control
We're
you.
out of time. But 2 comments.
Yes, sure.
There's somebody's tweeted that they're actually in a lecture right now and they're
that's
reading the tweets. So this basically this is keeping them from doing well in their lecture. And also, last but not least, Atodazi said, okay, well, my phone was stolen in February and I've actually survived better than I thought I could. So guess he's
possible.
not. It is
That goes to show
possible.
it's
Because it's out of sight.
So make it. Just do it.
All right, I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Anne
Thank
Casey.
you.
Of course, been talking about mobile phone addictions.
Amma, can I just say one word to everyone? I know people are just so worried. Yes, it's good to have your first matches big and massive, but then we need to talk about this. It's about positive thinking. Don't give up.
Yes.
It's always not lost, okay? So don't feel that's it, Black Stars is gone and everything. No, we're not gone
like
yet.
that.
We're not gone yet. We're there.
Go Black
We're
Stars!
coming back. We're coming back and we're coming back big time. So the morale and everything need to be up, and we need to cheer our boys up, and we're coming back big time.
Coming back
Dr.
strong.
Anne.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go for a break. Make sure you don't go anywhere. There's more coming up on New Day.